Hello, Taylor Webb here, and today we were talking about resources or types of sources. The first being a primary resource and the second being a secondary resource. So a primary resource is basically a testimony, you could say, of somebody that was there for an event. So it can be it's basically like a witness or a person that experienced something firsthand. And for those, an example would be like a diary, a letter, an interview, music, photos, even a map would be a primary resource. And a secondary resource is just created by a person that wasn't there during an event. So, but they have referenced an original resource. So, a great example would be just like a textbook. Textbooks are usually written by authors that were not there during whatever they're writing about. So if they're writing about World War II, obviously these authors were not there during World War II, but they have done their research and got all of their information from verifiable resources and have put it in one place for everybody to see. So that is one example, but also dictionaries, biographies, articles. There's a number of secondary resources. Now, when we are looking at these types of resources, we have a topic in mind. Let's just stick with World War II as the topic. So we're thinking of whatever topic we're learning, and we want to answer a question. So we need to come up with a question that needs to be answered in order to go over these documents and these resources and really make sure that we're verifying, we're using multiple resources to make sure that we get accurate information for whatever assignment we're doing or any research that we are doing. So when we are looking at these sources, we want to ask ourselves, what do I wonder? What am I asking? So let's come up with a question. Why did Nazi Germany start the war? Why? Okay, well now I have a question. So I can go over my primary resources and I can look for answers to my question, and I say, I notice, or I wonder, or I see. And when we can apply, a question to explore a topic, well, we might notice or wonder or see things that we may have not previously been looking for. So another question is, why did the war end? And I may look up a secondary resource, being a textbook, and I may find that an atomic bomb was dropped on Japan, and that led to their surrender. So we want to make sure as teachers we're modeling this process, we're showing our students to look for author names, for dates, for places, to look for context clues in order to find this information. Where is this taking place? Why does this matter? Why is it significant? What background information should my students know? Or what do they need to know before we open up these sources? What is the big picture? Why are we looking at this stuff? We need to make sure that we're kind of looking at everything as a historian maybe would. We're looking at, the ins and outs, and we're asking the right questions. And to guide our students to do that, they need to know background information. So we need to really make sure that we are, as teachers, modeling for them and making sure that they understand the process of, looking through primary sources and secondary sources, explaining, maybe having them play a game of, okay, it's a letter, it's a textbook, it's a dictionary, it's a photograph. What category do these go in? Make sure that they're getting the basic understanding of what type of resources are, and then going into the exploring the topic a little bit more, answering questions a little bit more, modeling the process and what that looks like, and just really going over their wonderings, finding out what kind of credibility these sources have. Make sure that they are verifying their sources and making sure that they're good resources to use. And yeah, I think that about covers it. Just make sure that we're building understanding of primary and secondary sources with our students, K through 6. Thank you.